Howdy y'all, Jackson here with Trick Studios, and welcome back to another episode of Just Some Rambling. Got only a couple topics to talk about today, but let's just hop into it. We'll start things off, as always, with the Michigan game. Uh, Michigan came away with the 39 to 14 victory. Uh, the defense started off a little slow. They were down 14 to 7 in the second, but then the offense came together and really just, you know, blew them away. Shea Patterson had another really good game. At least he's good when the pocket's clean. He's still a little shaky when he's under pressure. Unfortunately, that might be a little hurtful going into next week. But whatever. He was 20 of 32. He had that five touchdowns, one interception. Uh, Honestly, really good. The running game has been more solid of late. Charbonnet has uh, really came out. I believe he's a true freshman too, so we should have him for a couple more years. At least Haskins is still getting most of the carries, but unfortunately he's not doing great with it because he's still only averaging like between 3 and 4. While Charbonnet has been averaging like 5 yards per carry. So I think maybe he's just not able to take the workload yet since he's only a freshman. But. But anyway, it was a good game. It's actually given me confidence going into the Ohio State game. Not like overwhelming confidence knowing we're going to win, just confidence that the game can actually be close. If you asked me like 2 weeks ago if the game was going to be close, I would have told you no. But ever since the second half of that Penn State game, the offense has really came together. The defense has been solid pretty much all year, but it's good to have the offense actually working now. Now let's hop over to the NFL. In the NFL, the Bears managed to eke out another win, getting themselves back near 500, but still not there, obviously. But they won 2 of their last 3, though they really shouldn't have. They haven't been great. Their defense has been, their offense has not. They also benefited from 2 missed field goals. One which was really bad with that horrible snap, but the holder did a good job of getting the ball up, but then the kicker still shanked it. But yeah, Bears won 19 to 14. Mitchell Trubisky is still not good. Uh, yeah, the Bears did a decent job of you know playing defense at least. Eddie Pinero missed that extra point, but that was not really his fault since it was like a 40-yard extra point because of all those stupid penalties and stuff. Yeah. Next week is actually tomorrow, Thanksgiving. So they're playing the Lions. I think the Lions are still starting Jeff Driscoll, which is but they played not that long ago. I think they played Jeff Driscoll, and he played decent, but he's coming off a really bad game. So maybe the Bears can get back to 500, but it's not necessarily guaranteed because of just how inconsistent the Bears' offense is. So yeah, let's hop over to the college football playoff rankings. This week we actually have a new number one with Ohio State for taking over the top spot. Though to be honest, they should have been in the top spot in the first place. They should have never not been number one. At least in my opinion, I think they've been the best team in the league all year. Um, I'm not really going to go into the BCS proxy this week since it doesn't really matter all that much, especially considering all the human polls are affected by the college football playoff polls. The only thing worth going into with the proxy is the computer polls, which all have Ohio State as number one, anyways, except for I think one. So if it had what I was talking about last week with the BCS proxy, I think Ohio State would have been number one the whole time through if we were on the BCS system still. But rounding out it, you have LSU at number two, Clemson at three, Georgia at four. This is going to be. We can still get like a doomsday situation with this playoff depending on who wins the championship games and stuff. I really don't want to see two SEC teams again. That's but so hopefully Oklahoma and Utah both win their conference championships, so we can get for especially Georgia. I don't Georgia doesn't deserve to be there with their loss to South Carolina. They shouldn't even be in the top four. I if you're gonna have two SEC teams in the top four, I'd have Alabama above Georgia. But whatever. But right now, I think obviously one of those Georgia or LSU is going to be in. Ohio State's going to be in. Clemson's going to be in. According to all, if they all win their championships, and then hopefully Utah or Oklahoma both win their thing, so we can get one of those in for the Final Four. Let's hop over to the last bit of news this week, which is actually kind of a sad one. A few weeks ago, I talked about a court proceeding with a lawsuit with the Arena Football League over unpaid insurance and stuff. Unfortunately, that has led to the news that came out today that the Arena Football League is filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy and has pretty much closed all the way, which is kind of a tragedy because it's a 30-year-old league. Lots of great players have came through there. Fun. It was a fun sport to watch. Obviously, the most famous being Kurt Warner came into there. Uh, Former Redskins coach Jay Gruden coached there for a while. That's kind of where I believe he played there in the Arena League as well. There are a lot of people in the NFL world that had ties to the Arena Football League, so it's kind of sad to see it go. Though I was more of out of recently, I was more of an indoor football league kind of guy, anyways, because those were my teams. This were more my local market, but it's always kind of sad to see what was at least at one point one of the obviously it was the third tier because it was behind the Canadian Football League of talent wise, but it was its kind of its own game. It had its unique niche, and it kind of sad that when it came back after its first bankruptcy, that management kind of screwed everything up because that's what came back to haunt the new because the people who were running it up until right now, the last couple of years, seem to actually have somewhat of a plan, and we're having things going well. Like they had the team in Atlantic City actually working. They seem to have a good system, so it's just unfortunate to see it go. So, anyways, thank you for listening to me just ramble on some topics. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell if you have not already. Once again, thank you for watching or listening. Bye.